Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about a new concept in Salesforce, which is flows. So this video is going to help any beginner who wants to learn flow, or even if you want to learn some advanced concepts of flow, then please watch this video till the end. So flow is basically helps in Salesforce to automate some business processes, and to meet some business requirements, we can go with the flow. Uh, So when exactly we should use Flow? Well, if we have so many options available in Salesforce, I would say if business requirement comes, then analyze the requirement. Then if that requirement can be met with just configuration, then just go with configuration. However, if cannot be met with configuration, then we have multiple options in place: workflow, process builder, Apex class. Workflow should not be used because it is outdated and Salesforce doesn't recommend using workflows. Second option we have is process builder. This option also we should not use for a new business logic, but if there's any existing builder in your org, then you can go for it if you just need to tweak some logic. The other option we have is Apex class. Then I would say, like, if the requirements can be met through Flow, then we should go with Flow. If the requirement is very complex and cannot be met through Flow, then go with Apex trigger. So Apex trigger would be a better option than Apex trigger. Now there are multiple type of flows we have. One, I'll basically divide them into two categories. One is a screen flow, and then second one is auto launch flow. Screen flow should be used when user wants to see the screen and they want to give some input to the system. Then we will use screen flow. But if we don't need anything from a user, we just need a business logic to be run in the background, then we can just simply go with auto launch flow. Record trigger is also a type of auto launch flow which runs in the background, but it gets triggered when a record is created or inserted or deleted. Um, Schedule trigger flow it should be used when we want flow to be run at specific time of a day, or when we want a recurring logic where we want it to be run repetitively. Then we can go with the schedule trigger. Platform event flow, we can use it when we receive any message platform events or from external system. Then we can go with the platform event flow. Now, these are the basic events whenever we try to put data in the Salesforce org and click on save. Then these are the certain events which get triggered. For example, before event, before update, before delete, and we have after insert, after update, and after delete. So this shows the order of execution. The first logic which gets triggered is by flow, in before insert and before update and before delete. And second option we have is Apex trigger. And then after that our data is stored in database. And then we got Apex, then workflow, then process builder, and then flow, and then commit happens. So this question can be asked in any interview or in an exam. This could be a tricky question that if a number field gets updated to a number 5 by Apex trigger, and then later it gets triggered, flow gets triggered and it updates number to 7, then what will be the end result user will see? The end result user will see for that field is 7, because the logic which gets executed by flow will override the field value of which was set by Apex trigger. So the end value will be seen, which will be updated by flow. Now we will simply go to our org and see how the flow builder looks and how we can create flow. So we go to a setup and then click on flow here. Sorry, we go to setup and write flow here. Then we see a flow screen like this. There we can simply click on new flows. So as we discussed, there are multiple options. There are different type of flows, and we will simply go with the screen flow right now. So here we we have a toolbox which help us to create a flow here, and this whole thing is known as flow builder. We have a canvas here, and then this is a toolbox, and we have an option which I usually keep flipping throughout the creation of flow. The free forms, when you click on free forms, you see all the elements which are being used to create flow. And when you use auto layout, then those elements are not available here. However, you get those elements over here. I'll switch back to freeform and show you what are these elements we have. There are three type of elements: interaction, logic, and data. So in interaction, if you simply drag screen here, then this screen will be shown to the user once the flow starts, where we can take the values from the user. Basically, I would say this screen most of the times are used to create a feedback forms, or uh, any any time when we want to take inputs from the user, then we show this screen. We can simply have a text here, input text, then we can put, and this is the user will provide an input value here, and then we can grab a value here and then put it in the variable and execute a logic accordingly. We can also make it look better by having a section here. So we'll draw a sec we'll drag a section, and we can split that section into multiple columns. Like if you want three columns, we can do that. If you want the last column to be bigger, then we can just do like this, then the last column will be bigger. So we can create a form like this. We'll come back to this later again. And we have an action. The action tells us if we want to send an email, or if you want to create a notification, or we want to create tasks. These kind of things we can do with the help of action. Subflow is like if you want certain kind of logic, we want to reuse it in multiple flows, then we can use it via subflow. Assignment is if in a flow we want to assign certain value to any variable and use that variable across different elements, then we use it assignment. Decision is nothing, is just if else. If condition is met, then go to this side of the flow. If condition is not met, then choose a different path of the flow. Loop is going in a loop. Like if we get 10 records from the database and we want to go through each record, then loop. And if we want to sort that collection, then we use collection sort. And if you want to filter some rows, then we use collection filter. These data elements is used to help you with the DML operations, as well as some SOQL operation which a developer does to get data from the system. So to get data from the system, we use get record, and to update those records, then we will use update, and to insert we use create, and for delete we use delete records. Now let's give us a little complex requirement so that we start making a flow and start understanding how flows are made. Now let's say the requirement is this, where we give account ID to the flow, and based on account ID we get its child items, which are opportunities. Let's say account has 5 opportunities, we get those 5 opportunities. In those 5 opportunities we get multiple opportunity line items. Then in all those opportunity line items we will check, okay, what are the products we have and what are the quantities needed by that account. Now the requirement says that, okay, when we created those opportunity line items, business say we provided a product and quantity which we didn't know how many quantities were needed, but now we need a way to update those quantities. We need a page where we can see we can consolidate all the products by all the opportunity line items and the quantity, and then we update that. So before we do this, I have already done that kind of a setup here, where we have an account meta, and if you go to related, we have multiple opportunities, 5 opportunities, and this opportunities will itself have multiple opportunity line items. For example, I have opened the selling VR and selling headset here. So this is one of the opportunity where we have two products we are using, and we have another opportunity selling software. We just have a software, and we have another one where we are just using lens and motherboard. So let's say opportunity says for all the lens product which is lens, we want to update their quantity to a new value which user gives. Uh, Now let's see, and one more thing, that how we distinguish that product is lens is by the product code which we have provided here as 0121. So let's simply jump into a flow and see how we can achieve this requirement. Now first of all, the requirement says we, for account ID, we need to get all opportunities. Now to get all opportunities, we'll simply go and use this get. Here we'll say get opportunity, and object is opportunity line item. Opportunity line item or opportunity product. So now it says, of course, we don't want all opportunities from database to come. We want it based on the account ID we give. So here we'll say, okay, based on account, sorry, my bad. This is should not be opportunity line item. This should be opportunities. I'll change it. So based on the account, we'll get all the opportunities and we will match it with the account ID field. So we'll say equals, and now we don't have that account ID anywhere. So how will we get it? We'll create a new resource, and here we will say variable. Here we will say record ID, and here we will say data type is text. We just want one value, and we want value to be given to the flow. So if we want value to come to the flow, we'll go for this available for input. But if we want any variable to pass from outside the flow to LWC or anything, then we will choose output, available for output. But here we are taking it as an input. So we have clicked on done. Record IDs has come here, so account ID will match this and we will get all the opportunities. But here it says that how many record to store. I'll say all records. We just don't want only one record. Do you want to store all fields? No, opportunity has a lot of fields. We don't want all fields to be stored because it takes a lot of memory and it's difficult for debugging also. So I'll say just take one field, and let's say I want just ID, and done. So we are just getting opportunity ID, and in freeform we just have to match like this, but in auto layout it automatically matches. Now now opportunity has opportunity line item under it, which can also be many. So we need to go through the loop of all the IDs we get, and then in that loop we will get through opportunity line items. So here we will have pull a loop here. Now I'll say iterate opportunity record, right? So collection variable. So I'll say this is the collection variable, get opportunity. And how did we get this? Let me tell you first how we get this. The moment I clicked on get record, it automatically creates those variables, which you can see in manager section. This was not there earlier. This is something which we created, but this is something which got created on its own when we created this get record. So now I'll choose auto layout here. That's okay if we lose position. Here I'll say loop iterate opportunity items. Okay, and now I will say here opportunity from get opportunity. It means whatever the opportunity we got from previous element will go through this first item to last. Yes, done. So this is automatically created by auto layout. So this is going by one. If we want to uh, have a logic for each record we are going through, then we'll place it here, and then after last item it will go here. So yes, now we got the opportunities. Now for each opportunity we want to get its opportunity line items. So we will click on plus here, and which is also a child, and then we will also get another opportunity line item, which is a get record, means getting from the database. We'll click here, get opportunity products, which is a line item only. Then here opportunity, okay, system is working slow, line items. Okay, so here we want to match the ID. So we will say where opportunity ID, which is a parent ID, and it should be equal with. Now the variable is, this is also something which got created, current item from loop. Yes, we are going in a loop, so we'll choose a current item, and we want to match it with the ID. Here we go. So do we want to store the first record? No, we want to store all records. And choose fields from the Salesforce. I always choose this. So right now I know that I want product. I want product ID. Let's say name. And as I said, we want to match product code also, so we'll get that also. So whatever fields we are concerned with, we'll only get those fields. And quantity. We'll click on done. Okay, now we will once we got this, now we need to iterate through this get opportunity product also. And the reason we want to get through this is because so that we can get the products and their respective quantity from each opportunity line item, and we will store it in a variable. Let's see how we can do that. So we will have another for loop here. Here we will say iterate opportunity line items. Now collection variable here is this one, and then we will click on done. So we got another one. Now this opportunity line item will get all the products, which is installation software, motherboard, lens, but we are only concerned with lens, and that's what we need to store in a variable, which variable we can pass it to a screen. Now screen can also be placed here, and to show only the products we got getting from here one by one. But the problem here is that the screen which we will see it from here will show it one by one. Okay, the first product is there, you update the product, click on next, then another product, then another product, then another product. So if there are multiple products, it's not a good experience. So to show all the products on one screen, we need to make use of LWC here, and we'll see how we will use LWC. So to pass data to LWC, we need to store that in variable first. So first I will have a if else condition because I need to filter that I do not want any other product than lens. I'll go here and click on decision. I'll say if product is lens, then yes, say new outcome. Yes, it's lens, let's say. So I'll say current iteration. We are going through two loops. So I'll go with the child loop, and there we will choose product code here, and the value is 0, 1 to 1. Okay, now I'll choose the other one. No, here I'll say resource product code. Sorry, my bad. Does not equal 0, 1 to 1. It could be null also, so it will go in, should go in now. So if you see here, we have this. So if it is yes, then it will go here. If it is no, then the loop will continue to go. Sometimes when you do freeform, it ends there, and then I have to sometimes choose auto layout to fix it. Then I keep playing with freeform or auto layouts. It looks like this. It's difficult to understand here. So we'll go with the auto layout again. I'll First thing I'll do is I'll save this demo opportunity line items and June 17th, 2022. So now it's saved. Now I want to store all the product data in a variable so that I can pass it to LWC. Now to store something is basically assignment. Now we will do assignment here. So assign product data in variable. Okay. Now here variable we will choose here is so we do not have that variable. We have to create a variable. Uh, the resource type is a variable. Okay, before I go there, I'll explain what are these. We have multiple ways to create a resource, multiple options. One is variable, constant, formula, text, choice. So, I mean, you can go through these one by one. Uh, this formula is basically just when you, just like we have a formula field, we can use this. And collection choice set, for example, we need to use any pick list or radio buttons. We go for these options: collection choice, record choice set, and this. But right now we are going with the variable values which keep on changing. Then we'll go with this, which we can pass it to other element. Constant, something which we will not change throughout the flow. So we'll go with the variable here, and we will choose here uh, list all opportunity products. Data type is record because it's the S object we are going to use, and the object is opportunity line items. Okay, so this is little advanced where we are using record. The one thing you can, the simple would have been text if you just wanted a certain value to go to LWC or to the screen. For example, just name, just then you just don't need a record. But we want multiple values to go at same time, so we are going with the record here. And we are going to choose this yes, because we don't just want single record, we want multiple records. So we'll choose this available for input output. Yes, this one is available for output because we need to pass it to flow. Oh, sorry, we need to pass it to LWC, so we need this to be checked. I'll click on this and this list all opportunity will be created on the left. If you see here, it's there. And we have chosen here. Now this needs not to be equal, because if we do equal, this will only add the last value. We want it to be add, so that it's a stack on the top of this. We want to accumulate all these values. And what is that value? Well, the value is opportunity line item. Done. So we got this here. Now in this opportunity line item, we've got this variable here. Now this variable will be there when the last item executed, and in the last item it will go to this iterate opportunity item. It will come here, and we get all the opportunity line item product data for all the opportunities line item and opportunities at this place. So here we will use a screen, and we want to have LWC here, as we want to show the consolidated products on the left and the quantity. How we can do it? Before that, we need to create an LWC. Now we'll quickly go and make a new LWC here. I'll open a Visual Studio here. Let me close all, create new one. So we'll say demo opportunity line items. Yes, it's an LWC. So first thing which I would like to change here is this, the meta XML file, where we want this to be exposed. So we'll choose this true, and we want this to be shown on flow screen. So we know we can make use of a tag target. Here I choose targets and then target inside. Now, as we are going to make it available for lightning underscore low screen, okay. And similarly, we need to have now design variables. Now here we can set the variables which we will take it from the flow and even give out to the flow. So I'll just copy paste this code here. And explain that code to you. So here in this target config, we have another tag target config, and we say the target here is lightning flow screen, and we have a property name here with the type as uh, S object. So if this had not been an S object, then we did not need any property type. We'll just go with the property and name and type as a text, sorry, string or a number or any data type we want. But as this is a complex one, so we can receive objects by specifying a property type first, then providing a T and then S object, and there we have a property name this, and this is what is we going to receive from the flow, and this is what we are going to send to the flow. So we can both show just have a difference of name. Everything else we can keep same, just change the description or label if you want. We can also have another tag that we say that it is for output only, not for input, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll just keep it like this. And once we have that in place, the first important thing which we need to do is specify API. API tells you that okay, uh, this variable is public and it can be used from outside the LWC. We'll have it like this. And we will specify another one. Now we also need an output here. Record data update. So if you remember, we specified two properties here, records and record data update. So for those two we have this API here, 1 and 2. For this one we don't need API, but we have kept it anyway. So what here we will do is, for this one records, we can do some set and get. So we'll say API get records, and we will have some set records value and then semicolon here, and then let's specify this value. So here we'll say return this dot record data. For setting up the values, we'll simply say uh, this dot records score data equals to value. So this will, we will return it. Okay, so we will get data in the records data. Now we'll just show it in a table, and I'll, just to save time, I'll copy it from where I've already coded. So I've simply created this table. So in this one I have a table, and div class, div is using these classes, SLDS classes, and then table we have a header where we just show opportunity name, and product code. We have hard coded these labels. And here is something interesting. We have for loop where we are going through this records data. We have given this a variable name, and then we have an index. For indexing we have ID, which will be unique in the whole for every row. And this ID is nothing but the opportunity line item ID. And for there we have name, product ID, product code. But for quantity we have put a lightning input so that they can change the value if they want. And once they change the value, we have a handle change written. Let me save this, and we'll go here. We'll save this too. And here we have to write this handle opportunity line item. Let's say event, because we need to grab the index here. So here we will just go through this dot records data equals to JSON dot parse JSON dot stringify. Here we will have this dot records data. What we are doing here is we are having another variable which we are going to pass to the flow, and from this is the input and this is the output. So we want to create another variable which use another memory, not at the same memory which records data is using in the system. That's why we have json.parseOfStringify. If we do not use this and simply assign it, they both refers to a same memory, and if you want to change the quantity, we'll get false-ish property error. I'll say to be done this to avoid false-ish property, false-ish set error. Okay, let's see everything is good. Yes. Now we want to get the index, so we'll say let index equals to event dot target dot dataset dot index. Okay, we got the index. Where is this being clicked, which row? We get this now. Now we will have a for loop. For loop is let index in. Okay, that should not match with this. Then I'll say index id. Index in this dot records underscore data. Okay, now I have a for loop here where I will set if this dot records data index dot id it matches with index id, then I'll go here. So if records index id matches with the index id, then I'll simply go and update the quantity with the value, with the new value which, so this will gives the value which the user has provided. I'll update it with the record data index here, update. But here's a problem, like we don't want this record data update to be kept on changing. If somebody clicks on first row, this will execute and it will store this value second time, and then we update the value here. Now again somebody executes, the old value will be overridden by this, so we want only this to be executed one time. So I'll say this dot records underscore data underscore update dot length is equals to 0, then only it should execute. Okay, now we got this, and I think we got this ready. Let's deploy this. Hopefully no issues. One thing we forgot, add API. Oh, maybe we don't need it because we don't call this method from outside. But anyway, let's do it. We can give a master label here so that we can find our LWC with that name, master label demo opportunity June 17. I'll say master label. Okay, let's deploy this. And coming back to the flow, here what we will do, if we try to find demo flow, so this is not the flow which we created, so it's not coming. We try to save, we need to come save and come back to this flow again to get the flow which we created. Let's see it's got deployed or not first. Okay, it says that it's not deployed. We need to see why. master label. Oops, the end tag is missed. Okay, this got deployed. Now going back to the flow which we created. This is our flow. So we got a flow here, and we'll simply go down and add a screen here. Now we will search our component. So if you see, it's coming now with the master label we provided, and if it doesn't come, just go back and come back to this flow again. We'll give this name demo opportunity line. About here, the what is the subject? Opportunity product. Here we go. And now we will say, okay, this is the input, the records which we set at the property type name. This is what we are getting, and where we want to give the list all opportunity product which we created in the for loop. And we need to go to the advanced section because we need an output variable here, and out it's the updated record which we have populated, and we want that back in the list of opportunity products so that this gets updated. Now we'll click. So this is provided as an input here, records, and in updated records we are getting it back. Now we need to fix this. I'll simply say don't show header. Now save it. It will again say for error because this is for footer. I'll say update opportunity line items. I'll click on done. Update line items. So we got the screen. We'll save it. And now remember the variable which we have given here, that is being fed here, and the updated variable we have got it back. All we need to do is that update that variable. So to update that variable, we'll choose that element update. Update here, update opportunity line item. Now we have the IDs, yes. What is the record collection name? List all opportunity product, and done. Simple. Just 2-3 things and we are gonna get update. We'll click on save. And we are going to debug this or run this to see if we can get this working. We'll get the account ID from here. We'll go to the flow. So we copied the account ID, and now we're going to click on debug. See, it's asking for a record ID. We will provide account ID here. And here we get all our opportunity names. Here we get product ID. If you want to get product name, so what I've seen is you need to create a formula field on that opportunity line item, which will use mass, uh, which will get the product name, and then that formula field you can refer in the flow. Here we will just simply go and update the quantity 22, 22, 22. And one more thing to observe here is it tells you what exactly is happening in the flow. So this thing is very useful if you're not able to get this display. So anywhere you see that, okay, record not found, for example, successfully found record. If record not found, then it's an error to get some error is here. And if in a loop it's not going through iteration, you will easily get to know here. And in decision element, we provided 0121 code, it's met or not. So all these things you can see it here in the debug. So it's very helpful to debug any issue. When I'm not able to get what I want, I see where I'm stuck here. So I'll click on next and I'll try to run again to see the values got updated or not. So I see the values are updated. So I'll update it more. I'll say 1, I'll say 2, click on next, and I'll run again. So all my values got updated. If I go to that account, I'll see those values for those products are getting updated. So thank you for watching this video. You can watch more videos which I'll upload later, and then those videos I'll cover some more concepts of Salesforce. I'll cover some advanced concepts. So please subscribe my channel so that you can watch more videos. Thank you.